It is day 91. Day 91. Good morning. Now I'm going to tell you what's special about day 91. We are officially off of probation. It's just like on the job when you get a new hire and they have a probationary period. We are officially off of probation. So day 91 is a big deal because now you can start doing what you want because you're not on probation at work. Like everybody do, right? And that's why we're on the bike this morning. We're doing what we want. So I want to say good morning. Good morning to all my coffee heads. Good morning to all my night workers. Good morning to all my sleepy heads who warm under that cover. And good morning to everybody else if you don't fall in none of those categories. Good morning. We're actually trying to get a few miles this morning before we get to our levee. But I did change out the seat yesterday on this vintage road bike, and this seat is it's a high seat, and I definitely feel like I'm sitting up 9 feet tall. But it's holding up good. It has a few like double springs, so when I get on the levee, I should be able to feel a difference in the ride, you know. But I'm just happy that it's working out. We got some cold weather supposed to be coming according to some of the people that I know. What y'all want from Popeyes? It's on me today. All right, let's see. Let's see what we're gonna get. Ooh, chocolate chip biscuit. That sound okay. Sweet and smoky Chipotle. Not a fan of Chipotle. I like the restaurant. I've only been there twice. No, twice. Final answer. The shrimp are good. Does your Popeyes have shrimp? Ghost pepper sandwich combo. Caramel apple cheesecake. All right. That was cheap. That was real cheap. Now this Popeye's closed. It's probably 4:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that's just something I do just to mess around. When I was a little boy, I watched the movie Hook, and Hook was the movie that really made me think about like food different. Like they would imagine eating. They would imagine eating something, you know? And I've thought about that movie a lot, that scene. I don't remember the movie necessarily. I just remember when they were all at the dinner table and they were imagining eating stuff and they were able to taste it because of their imagination. I do thoroughly remember that. We've done that our whole life, you know? There's a famous bar that says, when you see clothes, close your eyelids. You know, and I think that a lot of people, that's reality for them. You know, so it was no different for me coming up. We had everything we needed, but we had imagination for what we didn't have. You know. But it's nice. It's like I think 58 degrees this morning. It doesn't feel as cold as it has felt, and I'm thankful for that. I do have my toe covers on. I don't know how to wear them, so I just put them in my sneakers. Since I don't have a real deal cycling shoe, I just put them inside my sneakers. And I got on my altered too tight Harbor Freight winter gloves. Bad idea. Boy, these things will cut all the circulation off your big hands, you know. But Right now, it's not as cold as it has been. But I enjoy riding with gloves on, just holding the handlebar. I really enjoy having gloves. Now, I will make a confession. When I did 219 miles on December 26th, I didn't realize it till after, but my hands were affected by that ride. And so I have some new calluses in the palm of my hand. And I didn't realize I had that much applied force on my hands for that long duration. Because I switch my grip up throughout the ride. Sometimes I'm upright in the saddle. Sometimes I'm on top of the bars. Sometimes I'm on I call them horns. You can call them what you want. But sometimes I'm on the horns, So it just depends. Thought there would be more traffic this morning, but I'm thankful there isn't. The wind is blowing, I think, 6 to 9 mile an hour or 4 to 6. And it's coming out the northeast, which is the worst riding wind in my area. Because well, I shouldn't say that like that. When we get on the levee, we're going to be heading north first, and then we'll make a big right-handed turn, and we'll head east. And so that wind is constantly a headwind in your face. But see, when you're coming home, it's all glory, it's all glory. And I enjoy riding in the hard wind. I like to face it head on. I don't mind that one bit because I know on a return trip, that wind is going to catapult me like Carl Lewis. Well, maybe you're too young. You don't remember Carl Lewis. Usain Bolt. How about that? Catch me outside. So I'm not going to make this video long, but I should have went up the overpass. But I like living, I like living. I like living. I like having problems, And going up the overpass and getting wiped out ain't one. I got to figure out the angle of this camera so that I could show you what I'm seeing and not necessarily the handlebars. I did a few races with Slowpoke and it was the wrong angle. But I'm going to figure it out sooner or later. We're close to the Gretna, New Orleans line, or Orleans Parish line. And this is our Jefferson Parish. We're in Jefferson Parish right now, the city of Gretna. But we're about to enter Orleans Parish, the city of Algiers. And this is our little bus terminal. And this little thing helps a lot of people handle their business, So it's a much needed commodity or resource. Morning. It's a much needed resource. And as you can see, they must have been listening to a little Trace Atkins because they got every light in the house is on. Every light in the house is on. The back porch is lit like the break of dawn. Sidewalk looking like a runway. Yep. Just in case you want to stay. Every light in the house is on. I was trying to find out, and this is something I'm still working on, but I'm trying to get it together as far as carrying bananas with me. And I'm thinking about getting a piece of PVC pipe and put a threaded lid on it. And then that way I could just throw my water bottle in that pipe. And I could also, put the like the bananas on top of that inside the pipe, and everything's contained and it's not getting banged up, you know. Right now I have my bananas inside my shirt because I got on like 3 or 4 layers, but I have them inside my shirt. And I'm doing that because, well, I'm doing that because I don't have anywhere else to put them where they're not going to get banged up at the moment. I've had a few where I've strapped them to my rack and them suckers are like mush on the inside. And I only like them when they're like mush if my 39 teeth just made them mush. But other than that, you know, you eat what you got, but at the same time, trying to avoid or lessen. We must be heading north right now because I definitely feel this wind increase. So one of the things about cycling that's really important is learning your direction in relation to where you are. So I'm always trying to figure out my direction in relation to where I am compared to the reference points that I know. So a lot of that is just all mental, you thinking, and you trying to imagine where you are in relation to it, you know. But I'm looking at the bridge and I could see that I'm heading in the area where it's possible to see and reference where I'm at. You know, so in the video I made yesterday, I wanted to attempt to teach you and show you something that I picked up about tracks. And what was interesting was I was trying to take advantage of the tailwind, and they had a crow, and this sucker was just making all kind of noise on the power line. So as I'm riding, I'm looking at the crow just go to town, you know. I'm just looking at the crow go to town with all this noise. And I'm like, why is this thing making all this noise, you know? So sometimes, we're in Algiers right now. Sometimes when crows, one of them die, they'll all get together and make a cacophony of noise. You can look it up. But anyway, so I'm like, what's going on that this thing is making all this noise? Well, as soon as I got to the crow, I'm looking directly left at it and trying to figure this out. That's when I noticed, when I got to my peripheral on the right side of me, that's when I noticed the 2 young coyotes. And I'm like, man, this crow was on a power line warning everything that they had some predators out there, you know? And I just thought that was so cool. But now when I'm riding and I hear a crow or another bird really making a lot of noise, I'm gonna just look around a little bit better. Because it may be an alert of something impending or there. So that's the plan, you know. So I did learn from that situation, but it was still really cool. Them coyotes were beautiful. They were like red and gray and white, and they were beautiful, man, beautiful. Make a nice hat. Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson, you know. This little area that I'm in, well, behind me when I turn left at the light, that used to be the housing development called the Fisher Projects. And my grandmother knew a few ladies that lived there. And so when I was a little bitty boy, we used to always go to the projects. Then she had another friend in the Callio. We call it Callio. Calliope. We call it the Callio. and she had a few friends that lived there, and we used to always go see them. Now, what's crazy is my pops was LE, and so when I started going to high school, I would be in the Calio with my pops because he worked out of the Calio. So it was like, it was just a familiar place, you know? And it was very interesting. Used to go to the St. Rose Tavern. You know, I don't think it's done no more, you know? All right, now where are we going? Let me at him. How are we going back to the levee? And I'm gonna pass, dang, I didn't want to come this way. I wanted to go one more block over. So let me get off this street. Legs are feeling good today, day 91. It must have been all those Snickers bars last night. Had to be them Snickers. Okay. I'm looking at possibly, there's a glove, big one, God dog it. There's a glove called the Bar Mitt, BARMITT, and it hooks up to your bicycle, and you just put your hands in the bar mitt, and it blocks the wind from freezing your phalanges. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it in time. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it in time for the Arctic blast that's coming down here. But if I do, if I don't, it'll be okay. I'm still riding, you know. Still riding. I really want to get some some buffalo mitts. There's a company that makes buffalo jackets for like $6,000. And when I move up north, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna have to sell my truck, but I'm gonna get I got a bike, you know. Look, if you go off the road on your bike, it's less damage than if you go off the road. Well, let me correct that. If you go off your bike and you're not off of a cliff, you know, it's a little bit better than your car wrecking and wiping out. I don't know if they make chains for bicycles either, because you don't have much rubber on the road. But legs are feeling good. They're feeling real good, you know, feeling real good. But I want to get some of those buffalo gloves because I really like the concept of the Inuit, and they put the string around it, and you have these big old mitts where your hand automatically fits, and you're out of the element, you're out of the glove, you're out of the element, back in the glove, you know, and it works really good. I can see the brilliance of that. They're there when you need them, and they're not there, you know, when you don't need them. It's not in the way, because you don't have to worry about dexterity when you can pull it out real quick. I love that yellow and purple combination on the bridge too. All right, now we're gonna get to the levee now, and I'll show you the big scan of the bridge. But I need to end this video because it's too long, and I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you getting mad at me because I'm wasting your time, you know. This is day 91, baby. And the special thing about day 91 is in 9 days, in 9 days, we're going to hit the milestone of 100 days consecutive. That is, for me, that's an accomplishment. For me, that's amazing. 100 days straight. 100 days straight. Now, look, I'm not going to celebrate like I did last night. with that Snickers bar mukbang. Whoo, I'm not doing that. I think I was in a coma last night. I didn't even move. I don't remember breathing last night. You know? I don't remember breathing. I didn't want to make it, but I had to make it. I made a video where I should have just kept my mouth shut, you know, but I don't enjoy people making all of these videos on my city, you know, just to get internet clout or to get famous or to go viral. It's like they got enough misinformation out there. It's like, stop trying to be the news. You're not the news. You're not the news, you know. And I didn't want to make it, but I had to. I had to, because it's not cool. And if one person won't make a video about what happened because of my video, it's worth it. But if one person will think twice about making their video because of my video, it's worth it. I mean, you have families that are grieving. You have a city that's grieving and trying to heal and figure out what's going on, what happened, how extensive it is. The last thing we need is all these carpetbaggers and scallywags involved with social media about our city. Have a little respect for our city. If you love it that much, respect it enough to just let us take care of that, you know? Let us take care of that. If you're not boots on the ground, if you're not from New Orleans, if you don't have family in New Orleans, you know, just let us take care of that, please. Respect the families. The last thing they need to do is go on TikTok, IG, or any other platform and see somebody rambling about something they don't know nothing about that they're actually living the results of. They're the victim of the tragedy as well. They're the survivor of this tragedy. And they don't need to, you know, if they're going on TikTok to get away from it, they don't need to be watching your dumb video. Excuse me. It wouldn't be nice for them to be watching your commentary on the situation. You know. Now, the media is the media. You can't tell them nothing. You know, they have credentials to do that. Most of us on TikTok, Instagram, or any other social media platform, we don't have the credentials as a media agent to do that. And it can be considered insensitive. Now, there are a few videos of the incident or portions of the incident, the aftermath, you know, and a lot of people were still in shock. So if they're recording the video as they see it, like, no matter how you feel, those folks are in shock. They've just been traumatized by what they've heard, what they smell, what they've seen, and the fact that they're alive and so many people are not. So allow them to be human, please, you know. Get off their back. Allow them to be human. Because when you, or I'll tell you a little story. So I was not on this call. I was off that day. And when I came to work, even though I saw the text message, when I came to work, there was a ATV accident, all-terrain vehicle accident. You know these little fancy golf carts, or they call them side-by-sides? It was one of those, right? It was either a golf cart or a side-by-side. So they got a whole bunch of young teenagers driving it around the neighborhood. Well, it flips. No helmets, no seat belts, none of that. And one of the kids, his brain was crushed. And so his buddy posted it online. Now, what I want you to realize is the kid that posted it, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. When you were a little kid, you didn't even have a 35 millimeter camera. You know, so we live in a different society of behavior where from birth, kids today are taking pictures. They're posting pictures. They have social media accounts. So you can't get mad at the kid who survived this situation for taking a picture and posted it. Now, yeah, you need to talk to him, and explain to him a better decision to make. But he lives in a posted world. It's not his fault. It is not his fault. And he experienced something traumatic. And what do we see all over TV? Somebody recording traumatic stuff. The news shows you clips of somebody recording traumatic stuff. The cameraman always survives. What are they talking about, So, it's not always, we don't always like it when people record stuff, but at the same time, give them a break, man. They're responding to a tragedy or they're responding to trauma, maybe different from you, but you're not in that moment, so don't Monday morning quarterback them. Is it the most flattering? I saw the 9/11 video when the ladies were jumping from the tower to their death. And you know what? Somebody recorded that. And you know what? I'm not going to say they did the wrong thing. I'm not. Because you know what? That footage has been used in training scenarios the world over. That footage has been used, and it's unfortunate those folks perished. But we can learn from being able to analyze the footage. The defense, the prosecution, they can use that footage to set a man free or to convict a woman, So I'm not going to say it's always bad when things are recorded that are very disturbing. I can't say that. Because if you were mugged and pistol whipped, you're going to be looking for somebody's Ring door cam. You're going to be looking for it. Because why? You want justice. You want a form of justice. And so you're going to be looking for footage. If someone abducts one of your loved ones, you're going to be looking for footage of the encounter to know who it was, what they were driving, what time of night it was, what time of day it was, etc. So I can't fault anybody for recording something traumatic that they're experiencing as a result of being a survivor and being right there on scene. We all saw the little video with the lady with the red hair. She just made it. I'm talking about just made it. But you know what? That wasn't up to her. Now, they had a few people saying somebody must have been praying for her. And I thought that was very insensitive, because what about the other 15 people? Nobody was praying for them? Nobody was praying for the other 15 people? I'm not going to get on a rant, but I'm just saying. That lady barely made it. But you know what? He wasn't aiming for her. He was trying to get down the street. And she just made it. I'm talking about just made it. By a frog hair. Now, if he went to the right a little bit, she might be victim number 16. So at the end of the day, it's like, we're not experts. We're not experts. Most of us don't have a background in studying these type of situations. We just have an opinion, just like I gave you mine. Respect the family, respect the city, respect the privacy, and let the professionals do their job. And I didn't want to talk about that this morning, but I'm sorry if it disturbed somebody. But that was not my intentions. We're just trying to wrap our head around this as a city and understand the full extent of it, and understand if there's any more trouble that's out there that we need to be prepared for or to try to prevent, But I will tell you this. I was a firefighter for 13 years. And those guys going to need some therapy. They're going to need more than a critical incident stress debriefing. They're going to need some therapy. All of those guys that saw, it doesn't matter how many years you've been on a job, It doesn't matter how desensitized you are to the smells of death, the sights of gore, does not matter. You're gonna need therapy because that was horrific. And guess what? When them boys and girls laid down at night, you know what they thought about? Everything they saw. Some of them may even have survivor's guilt that they didn't do something fast enough, quick enough. They didn't prevent it. And that's sad. So one act of terror, one act of hatred affected the lives of so many. And don't forget the coroner and all those guys that the inmates that gotta pick all them bodies up. You know, they're gonna need some therapy too. But I'm done talking about it. I'm gonna show you a little frame of the beautiful city, New Orleans, our city, my city, a strong city, a grieving city, but this is home. This is home. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I'll see you soon.